How can substance abuse be prevented? So this depends on who we're talking about. Now, if it's somebody who's been prescribed an opioid for pain condition and it's just for the short term, the easiest way is to take it sparingly and as prescribed. So for example, for Percocet, it would be 1 to 2 pills every 4 to 6 hours. And sticking to that schedule is very important. So if a person's what happens is people start enjoying it. They enjoy the side effects, the comfort and the euphoria. It takes away the anxiety in addition to treating their pain. And some people are more prone to wanting to take more than the required dose because it feels good. So sticking to the proper scheduling is important, and that will help prevent addiction. And then also when they come, instead of suddenly stopping the medication, to slowly wean off of it. That's because the opioids have a withdrawal syndrome, and it's very uncomfortable, and people are more likely to relapse and take another pill if they're going through withdrawal. So they're less likely if they wean off of it very slowly. Instead of taking 1 pill every 4 to 6 hours, take a half a pill every 4 to 6 hours, and then a quarter of a pill or a pill every 12 hours. There's many ways to do it, but to slowly wean off of it. That's the best way to avoid any sort of substance abuse or addiction issue. When it comes to younger people, to prevent substance abuse and addiction, it's all the same, is to speak to them ahead of time. Of course, saying no is the best thing to do, but it's not quite practical. Kids, when they become young teenagers, 15 or so, sometimes even younger, there's a lot of peer pressure, and they're rebellious. And sometimes the best thing to do in this situation is to arm them to make a best decision possible. So if they are going to use, then to encourage them to be responsible and moderate how much they're using. Hopefully they won't be jumping into the opiates anytime soon. It usually starts more often with marijuana or hash. And from there to guide them that you can't control them. As parents, we can't stop them, but to let them know there are side effects. That, for example, they can lose their motivation, and that it causes problems over longer term use. Once in a while is okay, but again, it's moderation that's the most important thing in that situation. Finally, to educate the younger people that opioids and cocaine, LSD, these are drugs that are much more serious, have much more side effects and some withdrawal syndromes, and it's basically playing with fire, especially with the opioids. This can, because of its dependency, where a person needs more and more to achieve the same dose, and that they get sick if they don't take the medication, so it causes withdrawal. So it's tolerance and dependency, what we call it. So we don't want to encourage anybody to get into that situation. The idea is to moderate their use. So to summarize, how to prevent substance abuse is obviously to say no. If a person is going to use, to moderate their use, to use with others, not alone, because things can worsen that way. And finally, for people who are prescribed opioids, to use it as prescribed, no more frequently, or not taking more than the prescribed amount, and to slowly wean themselves off of it instead of going cold turkey, because if in that situation, it's more likely that they could have a relapse because they want to start feeling better. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
We've helped over 1 million Americans completely recover from substance abuse. Call now at 1-800-615-1067. Call now.